In my unboxing video of these knives, I said I was going to give them a throw or two and show you, so I will. I don't consider this truly a martial skill, kind of spoke about that a little bit last time, but it's still a cool one, and one I should have gotten around to trying before now. And let's see how these things performed while we're at it. Fail. Fail. A little bit of a distance adjustment after using my brain, and there we go. So what we saw there, besides my lack of technique, is that distance is key. And I understood that as well as rate of rotation. I have, as a martial artist, thrown sharp, pointy things before, but not these, and it definitely takes some getting used to. So let's try again. This is the very second volley. We'll go slow-mo this time. And I step forward and into it. That is not what you'll see in a lot of guidance. Think about throwing darts in a pub. You would kind of naturally put your lead foot forward, which is the opposite of what I'm doing here. And that's because to me it just makes more sense, like that's the way you would throw a spear or a javelin. Here's the second throw, and that's why I'm doing this, tossing a football-like motion and stance. And I almost hit the exact same spot. Hooray. Final shot, and this is actually a really interesting exercise. If you've never done anything like this, I would recommend it. It's a very zen-like. You can't force it. You're trying to recreate something you did before, trying to get in that zone and stay in it, which I failed to do on that last one. So, 2 out of 3 on the second round, and here are those 2, in fact. So we can confirm that these Kershaw knives will in fact stick into a tree if you can actually get them to land with the point flush. I'm not saying they should get an A+ because of that. That's kind of the, minimum threshold, really, right? That's what they're for, throwing into things, especially wood. But here you go. Even a badly thrown, but almost correct cast can stick. And this picture here also shows off the best feature of these knives, which is the look, like we talked about in the previous video. Now, of course, I was keeping it very simple here. I was only going for a 180-degree rotation of the point. That's like the basic throw, a half turn, essentially. Things get much more complicated. As you increase the distance, you have to increase the number of revolutions. Kind of a spatial recognition exercise in a way is what this would turn into after a while. You probably develop a pretty good ability to do that, I think, if you get good at this. So how did these things perform? Well, you can see some dirt and muck, and I don't care about that, but you do also notice a chip here in the blade. I'm not too surprised by that or worried about it. You could hear the knives clanking every time I missed. That happens a lot. Sometimes they land on a rock below or even one of the other knives. If it had been just sticking into wood and or falling onto grass, I don't think that would have happened. Here they are after some tossing. The paracord wrap is definitely the one problem on these things. You see where it's loosening up? That's just a hint of the troubles, because the first time I actually took these out, this video is not the first time I used them, and that first time it was a disaster. All 3 came loose to varying degrees. One of them came completely off, so today was throwing after I'd rewrapped them myself, which is something I don't do. It's not like it's a skill I have or anything. I never make things out of paracord, but I also used the melting technique. You can essentially melt paracord like a wax seal. You shouldn't burn it, which is what I did on this spot here, but still works. I'll show you the different spots where I did that. I also kind of tried to pull it tighter, get more slack out of it. And essentially it worked because these held up much, much better in this throwing than they did the first time. So really that's the one big fail by the manufacturer. Come on, you should be able to come up with a way to wrap these so that they don't come apart within like 5 minutes. Much better job here than on that first one I showed you. Just get the flame of a match or whatever close enough to melt it without actually incinerating it. So, it was a fun time. I will still give these knives a thumb up. They look really cool. They're a good value. They held up decently well. The paracord wrappings are atrocious. However, so do know that. All right, thanks.